Am I the a-hole for not telling her I was married? I'd taken a trip to my hometown in Texas because my mom recently passed away and I needed to take care of selling the house, moving our stuff out, etc. I'm 25 and married, but my wife had to stay in California for work-related reasons. While I was back home, I met a girl named Eva. She's 18. She reminded me a lot of my wife. She was clearly miserable living in this small town, living with an awful set of parents, and at the end of her rope. She told me she wanted to move to California for college, but her parents had told her she wasn't allowed. I promised her I'd take her, considering how the school was only 45 minutes from where I lived, and I needed to head back in the fall anyway. I would have left a lot sooner if it wasn't for her, honestly, but I said I'd wait for her to graduate and get her stuff together. In the meantime, we started spending a lot of time together. She'd told me I was unlike anyone she's ever met before. It seemed like she had trust issues and kept things close to the chest. My wife was interested in adding a woman into our relationship, and I didn't know how I felt about it until I met Eva. We started sleeping together and spending all of our spare time together. It was amazing, and I couldn't remember being as happy as I was when I was with her. I promised she could stay with me in California, but I hadn't told her about my wife yet, which my wife had told me was a terrible idea. I eventually ended up telling Eva about my wife because I realized she needed to sort out living arrangements. What if she didn't want to live with me after finding out? So finally, after months of being together, I told her everything. It did not go well in the slightest. Before our fling, I asked if she would ever consider taking part in a polyamorous relationship. She told me she didn't know, as she'd never had much experience, but that she could be interested. After I'd told her about my wife though, she began crying and said she felt used and cheated, that she loved me, that she thought I was the one for her, but in my mind I knew she was second best, a poor imitation of my wife. I reminded her that I'd never made any promises that we were in a monogamous relationship, but that I did love her and wanted a future with her and my wife. She thinks our relationship was meaningless because I have my one and only life partner, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I can still love and adore them both. I thought she'd be open-minded about my situation, but clearly, I was wrong. I never meant for things to get like this. I feel horrible because of how bad this has hurt her. She said she hates my wife for allowing me to do this to her, and I asked her to give her a chance, give the three of us a chance. She said I made her trust issues 100 times worse. She just kept asking why I'd ever do something like this to her and walked away crying. I only wanted to help her, and my intentions were good. Am I the a-hole?